Hey, hi, how are you? I know it's been a while, but I've missed you all so much, and I'm excited to finally be back. I feel like I owe you all a little bit of a life update. First of all, where have I been? I know I haven't posted a video in over a month. I think it's literally been since the last Vlogmas, something like that. Let's just say life has been super chaotic. I'm still adjusting to the new job and working full time. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot more work than I expected it to be and more draining. So I'm still adjusting. I'm gonna need to figure out how to find time to film and make time for all of my hobbies because there are many. But not only am I having to rearrange my whole time management system, I'm also just like so tired at the end of the day. So I keep thinking like I want to film in the mornings, maybe even while I'm at work I can film myself doing my planner for the morning or walking on campus because it's really beautiful on campus, or even just like my morning routine at home. But to be honest with you, I just forget most of the time. And there's so much going on in my head now that it's hard for me to keep track of my personal goals, but I'm gonna try and get better about that. And then it's also just hard to want to film in the evenings when I'm so tired and I come home from work and I just want to eat dinner and watch TV for the rest of the night, which isn't my ideal night routine, so I'm definitely gonna work on that. But it's just been an adjustment, that's all. It's just taking me some time to adjust, and it would probably be a lot easier to adjust to this new schedule and this new routine if there weren't also a bunch of other things going on that have been really challenging. We're still trying to buy a house, and in case you haven't noticed, there's still boxes behind me. I'm still in the same space, and it's kind of a hot mess in here right now, which has been really frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. We were supposed to close on the house that we're buying at the end of December, and it's now mid-February, and there's still no definitive date for us to actually close on the house that we are in the middle of buying. So yeah, it's been way more of a complicated and stressful process than I was anticipating to buy a house. But at the same time, I feel like what we're experiencing is not necessarily the norm. Complications just keep popping up, and it's just one thing after another. Every time we solve one problem, a bunch of more problems appear. First, our seller went MIA, wasn't signing anything. Then we had a property line issue with the neighboring property, and now we have a family member is going to be the new seller, but we had to wait for a court date for that to happen, and now there's sewer problems, so I'm at my wit's end with this honestly, and I almost want to just give up at this point if I hadn't already packed most of my stuff and have it all sitting in boxes all around my apartment. And there's also no other houses for sale in our price range anymore, so we're kind of stuck with this shitty situation. It's kind of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. And on top of all of that, everyone in my family has been getting sick, and everyone's like, oh, it's that time of year, it's going around. Well, it's really going around with everyone in our households, and it's just a lot to take care of everybody and go to work and make sure everybody's okay and cared for, and then to try and be creative and make videos on top of that. It just, I had to put YouTube on the back burner, and I have been feeling really bad about it. I want to love the winter, I really do. I think snow is so pretty, and I think winter is a very beautiful season, and I definitely don't want to move to a warmer climate where there is not 4 seasons, but winter has been really stressful with everyone getting sick, and it's been really icy. Having to get up and go to work and melt ice off of my car first thing in the morning is not a relaxing experience. So unfortunately, I had to deprioritize a lot of my hobbies and creative outlets, and that's been really sad. But I have still been reading and writing a little bit, but we'll talk more about that in a little while. Despite all of that craziness, every single day I'm thinking about all the videos that I want to make and the direction I want to take my channel in this year and all those sort of things, like things that I want to film and things that I want to share with you guys. So it's been pretty frustrating to not be able to make videos. So I'm back and I'm going to do my best to make it work, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of creative hobbies, I wanted to announce that I have started a Patreon page, which some of you might have already seen because I made a post about it recently. For a lot of reasons that I don't really feel like talking about right now, I've decided to really cut back on social media. And by cut back, I mean I've pretty much gotten off of all of them except for YouTube. Sometimes I will go on TikTok, but I haven't been making any short form videos on there. I just sometimes like to scroll mindlessly. But other than that, I've gotten off of all social medias. I really only used it to connect with you guys and to reach a larger audience, so it's been making me think a lot about how I can connect with you all in a more meaningful way. I thought about starting a website, but that just seemed really complicated and difficult and time-consuming considering my life's circumstances right now, and it would also be difficult to promote and drive traffic to so that I could share things with you guys without social media. Plus I'd have to design it all from scratch and pay for a domain. It just seemed too complicated for me right now, so Patreon seemed like the better option. And yes, I did do a very long pros and cons list for each one of, but I don't know, I've just been reflecting a lot and I wanted to recapture that feeling that I used to have when I was younger and I used to write a blog. And what I was primarily looking for was a one-stop shop for me to share all of my photos and writing and life updates with you guys. And with Patreon, everything's already streamlined and built in, and you guys could get email updates and I wouldn't have to manage a MailChimp or anything, and everything is just already built in. I can post photos, I can post writing, I can do polls, I can do all kinds of things and share my videos, and even sell digital products in the future if I wanted to and if I had the time to do that, like I've always said that I would do. I can even accept donations and subscriptions, which I will never expect, but any little bit would help me to focus more of my time and resources on hobbies and my creative pursuits, my videos, and all this other stuff that I want to share with you guys. Maybe someday I will build a website and start a new blog, but for now, this is what I've landed on. And I think it's going to be really fun. I've got a book club planned. I'll always post my YouTube videos, so if you wanted to subscribe or just follow me, I will always post those for free so that you can still be notified, because that's what was kind of nice about social media, is I could say, hey, I posted a new video, and now I don't have that. So that's kind of what Patreon will serve as. But there will also be some exclusive content over there, so if you feel like following me on my cozy, chaotic, creative journey, then I would be so honored to have you. And as always, I will leave the link in the description box below if you would like to check it out. But yes, I have started a writing club and a book club on Patreon because some of my main goals for this year are to read and write more. Cozy gaming just hasn't quite been hitting the same as it used to. I just kind of feel like I've played them all and nothing is new and exciting to me. It's almost like I've healed my inner child and now my inner teen and young adult are knocking on the door like, hello, we're here too, and we are angsty little gothic souls who want to read about vampires. So I've just been running with that, and I've been reading and watching a lot of vampire and ghost stories. I just did a Patreon post about this, so I'm not going to dive too deeply into it. The point is, you can expect more reading and writing vlogs from me in the near future. Obviously, you should all know by now that I have many hobbies, but when I was younger, ever since I was a small child, I would come home from school and I would write stories. I would sit down at my old Windows 95 computer, and all it had on it was Microsoft Word. This was back in the age of dial-up internet, so the only computer in my house that had internet was my mom's computer in her room, and in my room I had a computer, but pretty much all I could do on it was write and type, so that's what I did. And I also would just fill notebooks and binders with loose leaf paper in them and just write stories and character studies and whatever else. And I have to admit, not much has changed. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or if I've really pointed it out, but I have an extensive collection of journals and notebooks that I have filled out, and I still journal almost every day as often as possible, and I still come up with a lot of story ideas, and I just like to write, so that's a pretty big goal for me, is to honor that and write more in the year of 2025. Yes, I did also discover video games at a young age, and they did bring me a lot of joy and a lot of comfort, and they still do. Nothing's just really grabbing me right now except for really heavily story-driven games like Silent Hill, Final Fantasy, Dark Souls. Those games, what I've been really in the mood for. Heavily atmospheric, story-driven games. I'm not so much into cozy crafting games at the moment, and unfortunately I am one of those people that has to do things that they're in the mood for. A mood reader, a mood gamer, a mood everything. I have pretty intense moods. I've learned that I have to love and accept them when they come and embrace them, and not try to fight when my mood changes and I go into a whole new phase of things. It's just who I am, and I have to be okay with that and love myself and accept that side of myself. So I hope you don't mind, but I've been into a lot darker things lately. Gothic stories, like I said, vampires and ghosts I'm really into right now, but there aren't really many cozy games or gothic games that I haven't already played that I'm into, so I'm just focusing on reading and writing at the moment, and I think that that's okay. So yes, I am working on a novel. It is a gothic dark fantasy. It's got little hints of dark academia. It's got magic and necromancy and romance, and yes, it is pretty much my dream combination of things, so go figure. I don't want to overshare about this just yet, but it's been a lot of fun to work on, so I'm pretty excited about it. And like I said, I did start a writing club over on Patreon, which I'm excited about, where I'm just gonna share a quick, simple little writing prompt every month, and anyone can feel free to join in and write a little short story or expand on the idea some more. Maybe it'll inspire you, maybe you'll write a paragraph, or maybe you'll write a whole novella. Sky's the limit. I just thought it would be fun and inspiring, because I want to try and write more short stories to get more writing experience and more versatility and writing in different styles and about different things. So maybe someday we'll expand on that and have the group come up with the writing prompts or vote on writing prompts. Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go along. A lot of people, when it comes to Patreon, recommend starting after you have a huge audience, and I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to wait. I just want to write posts, and I don't care if nobody reads them. I'm still gonna write them and post them, because I just like to do that. I like to write, I like to journal, I like to document things, so that's what I'm gonna do. And we'll just change and evolve as we get more members and see where this journey takes us. I did choose this book for the book club choice of the month. It's The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, which I bought at Barnes & Noble quite a while ago and haven't read it yet. But thought with the gothic theme, it kind of fits nicely, and also it's got these paintings in it, so it's kind of a pretty version. I got it in the discount, or no, the bargain section at Barnes & Noble's, but it's got a purple cover, so I liked it and I bought it. And the gold, who doesn't love gold filigree? Anyways, so that was our book club choice. Again, maybe in the future we'll have more members and we can vote on the books, but till then, we're just gonna read what I have lying around. I am also reading this book, Voice from the Stone by Silvio Raffo, because I watched the movie. I was looking for ghost movies and I found this one, and Emilia Clarke was in it, so obviously I had to watch it. And it was okay, but I saw in the credits that it was based off of a book, so I tracked it down and I bought it, and it's like this obscure self-published Italian book. But the writing is actually really beautiful and I'm enjoying it a lot. But this one is a rich, immersive kind of read, so I'm really taking it slow. It's very short, but it's just the kind of book that you want to take your time with, you know what I mean? So I'm about almost halfway through it now, and I already like it a lot better than the movie because it's from the perspective of the two main characters, which is this boy who is a mute and he just stopped talking after his mother passed, and his new speech therapist slash nurse, I guess, for the time, and they have a weird relationship, and so hearing his thoughts because he doesn't talk, it's just got a very eerie, mysterious vibe because he's almost like he's pretty menacing towards her in his thoughts. So very interesting, very beautiful imagery, very descriptive. Really enjoying it so far. It was hard to find. I got this on eBay. I'm also reading David Lynch's book called Catching the Big Fish because I'm on a major David Lynch hyperfixation at the moment. I randomly watched his Art of Life masterclass on YouTube recently, and at the end of it he was talking about meditation, and I had watched his lecture on meditation years ago, and honestly it was life-changing for me. So watching this new interview with him re-inspired me to commit to my meditation practice twice daily again. And then I discovered that he had actually written a book about it, so I obviously had to read it. And I love it. I just think that he was a total genius, and I love that he's such a huge proponent of meditation, and he started a whole foundation for it, and he talked about it all the time. So that's another book I'm reading, but it's kind of random, so I'm not really sure if I'll have the bandwidth to read any other books this month, but I still have to finish the Throne of Glass series. I still have to finish Crown of Silver Flames. So if I do read anything other than those ones this month, I'll probably try and get through some of that. I did a whole January wrap-up post on Patreon where I talked about all the books that I read last month, so I'm not gonna go through the whole spiel again, but if you're interested in knowing, you can go over on Patreon and check that out. As for today, I'm going to try and make some more progress in Dorian Gray because I want to be able to, if anyone joins in, if not, I'll just be talking to myself, but I want to be able to discuss this on Patreon for the book club in a week or so. I gotta make more progress in this one. I'm really enjoying it so far. I haven't gotten that far into it, and so far it's just some painter guy talking about how obsessed he is with Dorian, which is honestly so romantic, and it's really well written so far, so I'm intrigued to see where this is going. I kind of know the basic premise of the book. Mostly I just really want to watch the movie, and I refuse to watch the movie until I've read the book, so priority number one is to get through The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I can't believe I haven't read yet, so that's the plan for now.